What's up, guys? Making a quick video today, basically describing what the US version of the Samsung Galaxy S3 will be. You've seen, well, hopefully you've seen the past few, or really just week, you've been able to reserve the Galaxy S3 on AT&T, T-Mobile, I believe Sprint has it, and Verizon. Um, I think also US Cellular has it. Oh, yeah, US Cellular, and they say Metro PCS will have it, but I don't think so. Um, anyway, basically, you're going to see just a few major differences. First is obviously LTE connectivity, because it's not compatible with the quad-core Exynos processor that they got running over there in Europe. But the international version also has only 1 gig of RAM, and we're going to get 2 on the US version, which is, I guess, a plus. I'll enjoy that. Although 2 gigs of RAM in a phone is quite a lot. But yeah, so instead we get the Qualcomm Snapdragon S4 running at 1.5 gigahertz. I'll probably end up overclocking that anyway. Um, it's going to be running TouchWiz 5.0, 4.0? I think, I don't know, either way, it's got TouchWiz over it. It's a 4.8-inch display, running at 720p. It has an 8 megapixel camera. Well, most people thought it would have a 12 megapixel. We've seen the international version, it's 8, but still has pretty much zero shutter lag. And it's just, I mean, you really don't need much better camera on your phone. Um, besides that, though, pretty much everything else is exactly the same as the international version. Screen's the same. The batteries, I believe, the same at 2100 milliamp hours. It's a pretty good battery. Really, only battery that beats it is the Galaxy Note, which I believe is 2500, and the Razer Max, which is 3300. And on all the carriers, I believe T-Mobile says they're going to get it June 20th. Is going to be the actual release date. That's rumors anyway. I saw somewhere for AT&T actually saying about the 18th. So figuring for the Verizon, everything but Verizon, you're getting it about the June 20th range, around there. But on Verizon, they are shipping them July 10th. They announced that actually, I think it was yesterday. Um, so if you're getting it on Verizon, then you're going to have to wait a little longer. But compared to how long people have been waiting for this phone, it's not that big a deal. I personally will be getting it on AT&T. AT&T only has 16 gigabyte models though. On the other carriers, they're going to offer 32 gigabyte. While AT&T does actually have one other thing, they are going to be offering it in a limited edition red. So instead of just being the pebble blue, marble white, they have a red version, which looks okay. I don't really care for red. But other than that, pretty much everything else is exactly the same. Um, I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty excited for this phone. I've been waiting for it for quite a while. I have this piece of shit. Quick fire. Everyone thinks it's a sidekick. That's like, I'm just like, really? It's not like 10 years old, but um, so if you guys have any other questions about the US versions, I basically know everything about this phone and pretty much most phones. I try to always keep myself up to date with these kinds of things. So, like I said, the release dates are all rumors except for Verizon. Don't quote me on them, but you can reserve them now at pretty much all your carriers. It is $199 for the 16 gigabyte versions and $249 for 32 gigabyte versions, except AT&T because they don't have it. And I actually saw, where was it? I believe it was Amazon was actually offering some sort of deal for AT&T's version for $150. So if you guys want to look at that. Other than that, guys, that's really it. From the international version, we just basically lose the quad core, but we gain a gig of RAM. That's all you really have to know. And it's not like it's that bad of a dual core chip. The S4 still is a great chip. They did comparisons because that's exactly what they did with the HTC One X. HTC One X had the Tegra 3, which is the quad core NVIDIA chip, and they compared it to the S4, and the dual core S4 just scored a little bit below it on many benchmarks and GPU tests, and basically the only advantage you really get from that quad core is graphical processing and stuff. So if you really need that, I guess you could get an international unlocked version if you really don't care about 4G. But other than that, I mean, you're still getting top of line phone here, and it really will be like a really good standard for what smartphones will be, and coming year and next year and stuff like that. And I also saw one other phone, the Sony Xperia Ion. I can't talk. They're actually going to be releasing that, I think, a few days before, or a few days after. I think it was June 24th. And it made me laugh because they added a 12 megapixel camera to this phone. And it's, I believe, still has a 720p screen. I don't remember the exact size. I think it was around the 4 point something range. And it's actually a pretty decent phone. But honestly, if I have to recommend any of these two, I would still stick with the Samsung because it says dual core 1.5 gigahertz, but it's still using the old S3s, Snapdragons, and it just won't perform nearly as well. But other than that, a lot of people are saying, like, because it's using the dual core S4, why don't I just get the HTC One X? Honestly, they are very close. Spec-wise, the reason why I wouldn't get the HTC One X and why I'm getting this Galaxy S3. First off, no micro SD card slot, which with only 16 gigabytes of storage and not being able to expand it, for me that's a problem. And two, no removable battery, because I plan sometime in the future to get either an extended battery or like those big bulky covers, because I really don't care about thinness as long as I can last for like 2 days. So you can't do that with an HTC One X. A lot of people want the Beats audio on the HTC One X. I know they have some modifications with rooted phones that you could kind of add Beats audio to it, but I haven't seen anything for the Galaxy S3 so far. And I don't know. Other than that, I just feel like the Galaxy S3 will be the best phone out, obviously. But one other question I've been getting, well, from my friends anyway, what about the iPhone 5? My one friend, he's actually saying, oh, I'll just wait till WWDC. Well, it passed, and they didn't mention anything about the iPhone 5. They mentioned iOS 6, and honestly, with iOS 6, I was so disappointed. Many people were predicting, like, huge overhauls for iOS with iOS 6 because it's just so bland and hasn't changed ever. So when all they did was add basically some Facebook integration and a few new little things here and there, and a new kind of like look to it, basically. Yeah, it was pretty disappointing. People were expecting widgets and different home screen layouts and stuff like that, but really didn't get anything like that. So it was very disappointing in the end. They are predicting the iPhone 5 will be sometime in fall this year, around the same time as the 4S came out last year. And they have some leaked photos, and the design looks much different. Well, actually not that much different, but it looks different than the 4 and 4S, so that's a start. But I don't know, I just feel like hardware-wise, Android will always be ahead of Apple. Apple just makes they make their hardware to fit their operating system, which works, but it's very limited, and I've learned to love Android, especially with my tablet. But um, that's pretty much it, guys. You have any questions or anything about Galaxy S3, any cell phone really, carriers, really any cell phone question I could do for you guys. Um, I'm just very good with cell phones. I know pretty much everything about all the cell phones. Um, I'm slight obsession with that, I guess. I don't know why. I just kind of like smartphones. But I will be getting my Galaxy S3 in a few weeks when it comes out on AT&T. And basically, I'll try and do an unboxing depending on how quickly I rush into the box. And I will definitely do full reviews. I will do some rooting tutorials. I will do everything on it. So I guess look out for those videos. And I know I haven't been doing as much stuff with my iPod Touch, especially with iOS 6 coming out. I might end up doing some videos on that in the next few days, depending on whether or not I want to go to my car and get my iPod. But other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it helps inform you with stuff, and see you in the next one.